Let's go. Welcome everybody. Luimarco, quite nightly because I'm in the East Coast. However, the golden one, the gentleman Artemus Dolgin, is in the West Coast in LA right now. How are you, sir?
Luimarco, I'm doing amazing. I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to connect with your audience, for them to get to know me. And I really appreciate the video you made about me a while ago. It was very sweet of you, by the way. And one more thank you for helping to shape the new trend of bodybuilding today. It's about the classic physique and the old school bodybuilding. You're the biggest advocate, I think, on YouTube and social media. Even before I came into picture, I really appreciate that, man. You really create the trend, you shape the trend, you help shaping the trend, and you kind of educating people how bodybuilding should be. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I mean, I'm really enthusiastic about classic physique. I mean, admittedly, a little bit more than raw bodybuilding, especially this year. This year for me was like the crossing road, and my passion actually is a little bit fading from all-out bodybuilding. Right? I mean, I will always have, some sort of admiration for these big freaks, but it will always be a small niche. And you guys, this year, I think, the debut of classic physique will usher a new era and a very rebirth, like the phoenix coming back to life of the golden aesthetics. When I made that, the IFBB did not even created that division yet, and I was thinking about you because you had you tested the water in physique, but you were just too muscular in a sense, right?
Yeah, you know what? I never planned on competing in bodybuilding. I never planned on building a career in fitness whatsoever. I've done the sport. I've been in the sport since I was 6 years old. My dad brought me into this little basement gym. And this is where I saw the picture of Tom Platz and Dee Haney, and I was admiring those guys since I was a kid. I couldn't really quite comprehend what I was looking at, but it's kind of soaked into my blood, and it's been circulating in me all my life. But I didn't have enough faith that I have enough genetics or I have enough potential to compete until I end up in America, and I was training late at night, and somebody came up to me and started talking about doing men's physique show. I didn't know what the fuck that was, but I gave it a try, and I just realized that, you know what, I do have something, and I do have something very special. And for some reason, in my very first show, I was thinking about Arnold. I don't know why. Arnold was like a biggest motivator in my life. There was three people that actually influenced my life, and Arnold is one of them. And for some odd reason, I was thinking about Arnold on stage doing men's physique. And 3 months later, I was already a pro. I was competing in the pro league. So definitely had the genetic potential. I turned pro naturally. I didn't use anything. A lot of people try to say that I was on juice and this and that, but I was really dieting really, really hard. And the first time you introduce the dieting and the training that way, your body reacts phenomenal. Especially if you stay dedicated, you stay committed to the diet, you are disciplined. I blacked out on the stair mill. So I was really dedicated to this. And after I turned pro, I didn't place well in Tampa. And I kind of got introduced to the political side of the sport and to the politics. And I already start realizing that this is not what I'm cool with. Some people are cool putting up with it. I am not cool with it. I don't have that type of personality. So I competed in 2 more shows in New York Pro and then Denver. And Denver was my best physique, and I placed 15th. They just didn't know how to compare me to anyone. That's what their explanation.
You were too big. I remember these pictures. You were just outstanding. I mean, you stuck up out of the picture. I mean, even the competitors were looking at you. This guy is a little bit, over muscular compared to us. So right now, the classic physique seems to be the sweet spot where you can thrive.
Yeah, I'm happy about the classic physique. I'm happy to see so much talent. Louis, this is crazy how much talent we have.
Impossible. I'm so passionate about it. I'm
Absolutely. It's not even interesting to look at the regular bodybuilding because there is nothing new about it. There is 300-pound man flexing in their thongs, screaming. General public doesn't want to see that. They should put classic physique on TV instead of bodybuilding because that's beautiful, that's attainable, that's more of a mainstream thing, and it's very artistic as well. And the guys, they're passionate about the sport. Even the guys that are in the golden aesthetics, they're probably the ones that truly represent the passion for the art of the sport. Because when they pose, if you see Alex, he just placed second in Miami, Health Fitness, with the guy with the long hair. I know you probably saw his pictures. Yeah. One of the most amazing physiques I ever seen. You know, in today's division, his posing is spot on. These people are very, very passionate about the golden era. You know, there is a lot of people that jumping into classic physique because it's hyped up and it's great, but their posing doesn't look natural. It looks very forced, so they will have to work for it. But it's something that comes from within. This passion for the art of the sport comes from within.
Exactly. The flow, you either have it or not. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still think that all-out bodybuilding will still be kind of a niche and underground. You know, the big orexia guys will always admire that. But as you mentioned, the mainstream, the sheer bulk of you know, the fitness lovers, the gym goers, I think they will tend to lean towards you guys because your physique is more attainable and you're more human in a sense. You're not freaks.
This is very interesting to what's happening to the sport. I'm very happy to be a part of it, and me working with with Robbie Robinson right now and Samir Bannout, you know, and Danny Padilla and Tom Platz, and getting to know their mentality, it's mind-blowing. It's a completely different world. It's a world of art, first of all. They don't count reps. They express themselves with this act. That's a completely different approach to bodybuilding. This is really, really beautiful. And when you watch them train, they're like artists in action. They're not meatheads. They're not lifting with their ego. The approach to the sport is very different. I'm very happy to put this material out there for the people to learn because, I mean, as I said, it's a completely different approach. It's not based on drugs. A lot of those guys didn't take drugs until their professional years. You know, Robbie Robinson didn't take drugs for a very long while. If you look at my podcast, he didn't even know there was such a thing. He thought it was just about lifting and training really hard. You know, and today's world, people try to find a secret formula, a secret drug that's somewhere in Kuwait, you know, that's going to make you grow. And this is pathetic. This is to look at that.
The Kuwait thing is real. I mean, I'm in contact with Kuwait every day.
Today I'm
doing some lobbying. I'm trying to connect a big IFBB pro with Kuwait. It is still in the work. That is no secret. The only thing about Kuwait is it is the real thing. I mean, it's thing that is
regiment. They're on discipline. They're 24/7 doing exactly what bodybuilding is: eating, training, and sleeping, and injecting.
Okay, you mentioned Robbie Robinson, the Black Prince, one of the best biceps ever. He was so underrated. I mean, people knew him probably in 1975 and, you know, Pumping Iron, the first one in Pretoria. He was there with Arnold. You mentioned Tom Platz, the first freakiest legs ever. I mean, 1981.
Until now, there is no one that came close. They can talk about sheer size, but the quality of that leg, no one came close. No one.
The dude was incorporated a lot of things that we don't see nowadays. His stretching was marvelous. Tom Platz, he was doing some crazy stretching.
Well, you know, the way it's genetics too. You know, he was a very genetically gifted guy. Even right now, when you look at him, all of them are still in shape, still solid muscle on them. As I said, Robbie Robinson pulls 4 plates in the deadlift at 70 years old.
Wow.
He trains. I train back with him. And actually, I'm starting training with Robbie. He wants to take on my trainings for Monday, and we're going to start preparing for something. And I'm very excited about that because Robbie Robinson trained with Arnold. And he was Arnold's partner. And I'm going to train with Robbie. So for me, that's super exciting. That's super exciting to learn firsthand how those guys train because their bodies were different. So the approach to the diet was different. The approach to the training was different. It was pure, sheer work, hard, bloody work, and discipline. That's what it was. There was no secrets. They trained and overtrained, and right now there is so many different scenarios and so many theories about overtraining and this and that. I think bodybuilding is a lot more simple than they tell us it is. You know, I mean, you gotta do this and you gotta eat at this time. You gotta inject this drug. I guess. You know, I was talking to my friend the other day, and he was telling me, hey, man, have you tried this? This is a molecule of HGH that burns certain fat. So just talking about so many different formulas and drugs that do certain things. I said, man, listen, I just love to do cardio, diet hard, you know, play with my carbs and train, you know, train insane. I love that. I want to rely on that. I don't want to think about some sort of formula or some sort of drug that's going to make me grow, it's going to make me leaner. There's so much risk involved because all those things are not tested, you know, on human beings. People don't know what kind of effect it's going to get on them.
You guys don't really need that. I mean, at your level, Phil Heath told me these guys, I mean, the classic physique, I mean, they're lucky in a sense because they don't have to experiment with all kinds of, so-called what I call vitamin S's, because at your
Yeah.
level, it's so attainable and it pertains to something else. I mean, the classical look, the posing, the flow, and so on and so forth. You mentioned three guys. Samir Bannout, one of the craziest backs ever. I think
I
that.
trained back with him yesterday. Actually, I have a shot of with
Wow,
him.
I mean, Samir Bannout, best legs ever. Robbie Robinson, one of the best arms ever. And Tom Platz, the craziest legs ever.
Well, I'm gonna work with Arnold next year, guaranteed. Best chest ever. That's gonna complete the physique.
Exactly. I think I saw you with what's his name again? Frank Zane too, no?
Yes, yes. Frank Zane is an amazing artist. He is completely devoted to the art of bodybuilding. The guy is obsessed with the sport, and with the art of it. If you listen to their approach, man, they live, they breathe this. They're not even bodybuilding, the art, the time they spend on posing. It was another workout for them. You don't see guys right now pose and perfect their posing routine. It's very basics, very basic routine. If you look at the big bodybuilders coming out, because that's what's trending, like that's what's big in IFBB.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like they really have to start shifting a little bit the emphasis on classic physique, because even this year at the Olympia was in a different stage. It wasn't getting the exposure it should. It needs more investment, most definitely. And one more thing, I feel like classic physique is only at the beginning of its growth. It's going to have to be shaped into more size, more density. The guys have to look a little fuller. That's what my idea. I feel like if you look at the 70s and end of 60s, those guys were thicker. If you look at the Arnold or Franco Colombo, you look at again Danny Padilla, they were thicker. They were thicker.
Yeah, but I think, as you mentioned, the debut, they were a little bit undersized. They corrected it now. I mean, they upped the quote. I mean, not the quotas, but the limits, the bracket of the weight compared to the height is a little bit higher by between
I heard
5
about
and
that.
10 pounds.
For me,
talking of which, how tall are you?
How tall am I?
Yeah.
5'9". 5'9".
5'9". So what is the limit you need to be under?
I got almost to 230 pounds in this off season. It was very, it was a very different approach. I started working with Chris Aceto, but then the guy is great and he knows what he does. But I am here for a different purpose, and I feel like I rather listen to Robbie Robinson and Tom Platz and Danny Padilla and take their advice, because this is the body I'm aiming for. So I had to walk away from that and do my own adjustments with the diet. I start eating less and I start growing better. I start eating less food. I start playing with the diet. My stomach is always empty. It's always tight. My weights remain tight. That's very important. The timing of meals and the way you have to find the formula that works for you. A certain combination of nutrients and a certain combination of proteins, carbs. You also have to learn what source of carb works for you, or what source of protein processes through your body better and keeps you fuller longer. You have to know those things by watching yourself, and that's what I've been learning from Robbie Robinson. The guy is in tune with his body 24/7, 70 years old. You should look at his pictures. The guy is jacked.
Absolutely. He was one of my favorite. I had his posters when I was a kid. So right now, as per se, you do not have what we call a guru. You're no longer rolling with Chris Aceto, right?
No, I stopped a long time ago, and I started doing my own diet, and I start writing everything down. I start taking photos every hour after I eat, just to see how I start getting very deeply in tune with my own body and understanding how it works, because everything is on the personal level, because we're all genetically different. Mm-hmm. People try to find, I kind of got into this mistake as well, going from, one coach to another just to learn. I only had one coach in my life, and Chris Aceto was my nutritionist, but I was building my training, by myself. He was just giving me a certain diet, and he would update me based on the photos I would send him, every other day or so.
Okay, so we're talking only about nutrition. It does not
only
involve
nutrition. Yes.
Okay, it's not the whole thing.
Really, training, people don't realize it goes hand in hand, but training is so vitally important. You got to train balls to the wall. Of course, you got to know which days you got to take it a little easier. Of course, you can't do it 24/7, but training way beyond failure and pain barriers, this is where real bodybuilding starts. This is where real growth starts. If you can sustain this pain and the burning feeling and desire to quit, you're going to go far. You know, not a lot of people enjoy that process.
Now, I do agree that the training part, a lot of bodybuilders can do it on their own. But let's be honest here with our viewers. The gurus, their main function or their main aid is related to the vitamins, if you know what I mean. So who takes care of that for you? Do you do it on your own?
No, Louis. Chris Aceto is a very smart man, very intelligent man, and I learned quite a bit from it in a very short period of time. In his off season, the drugs are not so much involved.
We call them vitamins, by the way. YouTube does not like that word. So
the vitamins. I'm sorry.
No problem.
The vitamins were not as much involved. That was in very small things, and I was very surprised because I thought it was going to be opposite. Because everybody out there thinks that the dosages that these guys use are enormous. They're crazy, you know, but it was nothing crazy at all. I was surprised because it was less that I would probably take if I would do it on my own. So it was very surprising. But again, the vitamin S works better when you're lean. You know, when you're when you're blasting the diet, when you're blasting the cardio, when your body fat is lower, this is where stuff works better. So that was his approach. It didn't work with him on the cut because I felt like I wanted to, you know, to do it on my own, and I fell into understanding of the old school bodybuilding and their approach. And this is the body that I want to build, and this is the concept that I represent, you know, and I wanted to do it completely and fully all the way.
All right. Well, right now, Chris is still working with one of the best in the world, Arash Rahbar. Do you agree that Arash is a force to be reckoned with and he's coming strong?
Yes, I agree with you, but Arash is a great guy, great competitor. Amazing body, but if you look at the Golden Aesthetics, it's different. It's unfortunately there is no hate. We're talking about here in sports standards. You know, the most old school physique right now, in my opinion, is Cody Drobet from Canada.
My friend, actually, yeah. He's young. He's only 23.
20, yeah. Cody is an amazing guy. Very well. There is a great personality in that kid, and I truly connect with Cody. And I you know, training with him and training with Alex and, you know, the rest of the crew is something that truly inspires me. You know, because we are not really competing with each other, but we challenge each other and we motivate, inspire. That's something that's really reminiscent to a golden era of bodybuilding. That was something that I truly connect to, you know. And the posing, Arash is great, but classic bodybuilding is just a little different.
You are bringing something new to
his density is great.
You're bringing something new by talking about your
his density is great
already. So you can some heat. That's cool. I like that. Let's stay right in there with the heat, because right now the most asked question in social media: what's going on with Callum Von Moger? Is he a friend or a foe?
Let me get this straight. I am represent not only my physique. I represent the vision. These people have under their physiques to their name. I'm building the brand that's motivating, that's inspiring, that's empowering. The brand that's gonna last way after I'm gone.
By the way, this is your brand, eh? I'm rocking it today.
Yeah, it's one of the very first hoodies. So for me to get involved into and go down to that level where I'm gonna talk smack about someone's physique because there is nothing else you can pick on, it's not something I want to do. I don't want to get involved into, you know, trash talking on Instagram to the kid that's 26 years old.
What happened? You know? What's going on? I have no clue. What happened?
You know what? I part ways with Stanimal because it was a business decision, and I told him that we're going to remain friends, and the guy just probably took it the wrong way, and Callum is his friend or whatnot, and they've been talking a lot of smack that I took advantage of someone and this and that, but again, it's not of anyone's business. If these guys want to talk, they can talk. I have no problems because I'm thinking so much ahead of my bodybuilding career now. I have so many more opportunities that I was able to create because of bodybuilding and to branch out and other things and make real money. And, you know, I made this company to something pretty iconic within 1 year. We've been around only for a year, and this brand grew so much. People love the concept, people love the vision, and this is the best apparel because I don't cut corners and make everything in Los Angeles.
Very good quality. I do assess that. Quality is amazing, man. It's not just, tags and whatever. I love it, man.
So appreciate that. Thank you. But getting back to this, as I said, people, I don't want to entertain 16 years old trolls or kids. I don't want to go out there and make some kind of statements, and I don't want to invest my time in it. I'm filming 2 great movies right now. I'm working on a whole new brand that's going to be related completely to fashion, not related to bodybuilding whatsoever. I have so many things on my plate that for me to invest into what people say or people talk about me, it doesn't. I don't want to do that. I have so much.
So let's keep it.
Let's just
business. What did you think about his debut in Classic Physique?
I don't watch